Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2. I just wanted to say before we got started that all of the third grade teachers are so impressed with all of the hard work that was done last week. Students, we are so proud of you for working through the materials, and parents, thank you so much for taking that torch and running with it. We are so impressed with how everything is going so far, and we hope that you all are feeling that kind of positivity as well. Right now, I am going to do just a quick run through of our PMG for week 2, and I'll go over the activities, the videos that are listed and linked, and then also some of the extra resources that we have embedded into the document this week. So just taking a look right here at the top, we'll focus first on language arts. The students will have things to complete for reading, writing, and for word learning, just like they've done in the previous week. For reading this week, we really are focusing on comparing characters, and this is going to be a really important skill to help guide them to their assessment that they'll be completing next week on this same topic. When it comes to comparing characters, we're going to focus on comparing traits, feelings, and motivations that we see in characters. The examples we're providing for you this week do compare characters within one book, but it is also a really important skill to be able to compare characters across more than one book. So for these activities, if your student has read a couple of books and would like to compare characters from different books, that is a totally great approach to this activity as well. So essentially, you have a video here from Ms. Gibaldi. It did have to be split into 3 parts. So part 1 is going to be going over the review notes that you can access here. Part 2 is going to be a read aloud, pulling out some critical information from a book that the students have heard this year. It's a book called Verdi. And part 3 is modeling the activity that the students will be completing this week. So really visiting all 3 parts of that video are going to help the students complete this activity to the best of their ability. They're going to be working on a Venn diagram to compare their characters. If you want to draw that Venn diagram on paper, totally fine, but we have also provided a Venn diagram here that you can print off if you would like your own copy. And then the county also has a resource that you all can feel free to use here that does connect back to that language arts choice that the county provided for everybody. For writing this week, you are going to just select a new picture from the writing choice board, exactly like you did last week. Just make sure it's a new picture from the board. And again, you're going to write at least 5 sentences, keeping in mind those really important story elements, thinking about your characters, your setting, your conflict resolution or your problem and solution, and then making sure you have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Once you're finished with your graphic organizer for comparing characters and your paragraph, you can share both of those with your teacher on Seesaw or through email or on Google Classroom, whatever platform your teacher is using. For word learning this week, Mrs. Rotundi is going to take you all through a lesson on affixes. Prefixes and suffixes are her focus. She's got her video split into 2 parts as well, but that video is going to describe exactly what you need to do for this affixes hunt through a book of your choosing at home. Again, once you're done with that activity, we're asking that you share your list of words with us in whatever way that you've been doing that so far. Moving on to math this week, we are still in the larger realm of money. We will finish money up in 2 weeks, so you have week 2 for money and week 3 for money. This parent guardian overview is the same document that was shared last week. Mrs. Duke has put together a video that, again, because of YouTube situation that we're trying to work through, did have to be split into 2 parts. The first part is going to talk you through some really important strategies to use for making change so that the students can choose which strategy works best for them. She also, in part 1, explains this activity called Shopping Spree. Part 2 really focuses on this optional game called Play Store, so you can also watch that if you'd like to practice a little more with counting, comparing, and making change with this game here at the bottom. The final topic for this week is, of course, science. We're going to continue our focus on animal adaptations. This week, we're going to dive a little deeper into behavioral adaptations and talk about instincts and learned behaviors. I did create a video lesson that goes over both of those topics, and that's going to be found here in part 1. The part 1 video also goes over all the details that you are going to need for this green assessment, noting that green on our PMGs represent a county assessment that does have to be turned in. So focusing on that part 1 video, at the end of the video, I go over exactly what that project looks like and what is going to need to be turned in to your teacher. Part 2 of this science video is a sort that gives you some extra examples of learned behaviors and instincts. So it's just a great place to visit if you need just a little extra practice with identifying examples of instincts and learned behaviors. But for the most part with science this week, you're reading a short passage about instincts and learned behaviors and then completing that adaptations final project, that county assessment that does need to be turned in. And that is the only thing that's going to need to be submitted to your teacher for science this week. As we scroll down, you'll notice that there is this additional sentence that was not present on week 1's PMG. This does say that there is one science county summative assessment due this week, and that is this green tag here and this final assessment project in that science row. Again, the yellow highlighting just indicates things that we would love to see shared with us so that we can provide some feedback for your child on what they're practicing and what they're learning. Otherwise, that pretty much covers everything for this week. The second page of your PMG is the same information that you received last week on the first week's PMG. You've got options for sharing, office hours, your class Zoom meetings. And then down here where you have those extra resources and extensions, you'll find a lot of great titles. If you would like to access those titles on Epic to help with character activity, we've got some different types of resources here on Epic. You've got some ebooks, some stories that are read aloud, and even an audiobook option if you'd like to access those. We also have some just additional fun titles from Epic. If you're looking to mix up reading this week and do a little listen to reading or digital reading, these cover our animal adaptations topics and then of course our money topics as well. There's also a math extension listed here at the bottom if you'd like to extend your practice for math. But other than that, I think that pretty much covers everything you're going to need to know for week 2. I hope that if you have any other questions that you reach out to your child's teacher, and best of luck with week 2. We're so excited to see what you all send us this week. You've done such a great job so far. Thank you.